Good morning and welcome. Whether you are attending in person or watching our live stream, I am delighted that you are with us today to celebrate Duke Law School's LLM class of 2021. As you know, graduations are often as much of a thrill for loved ones as they are for the graduates themselves. Today, some of our graduates' family members and friends are here in person, while many others are tuning in from time zones all over the world. At this time, I ask our graduating students to rise and show your appreciation to the people joining us today, whose love and support have helped you reach this milestone. Also joining us today are the members of the Duke Law faculty. They are exceptional scholars and practitioners who have dedicated their careers to teaching and mentoring you. Please join me in thanking them for their contributions to your education and your personal and professional development. Let's also recognize our staff who work so hard to ensure the smooth running of this institution and provide you with the best possible student experience. They are talented professionals who have supported you from the time you applied through your time as students and will continue to support you long after you graduate. Please join me in thanking them. Today, it is my privilege to honor a remarkable class of law students receiving the Master of Laws, or LLM degree. They are graduates of top law schools in other countries, many of them already lawyers who came to Duke to learn about the American legal system and pursue advanced law studies in their areas of interest. In their 11 months at Duke, they have shared much with their fellow students, including their knowledge of their own systems of law, the cultures and traditions of their home countries, and a great enthusiasm for their courses, professors, and this university. They have earned our admiration and respect, and today, our congratulations. Class of 2021, you have had a unique experience at Duke Law School. You are the first class in history of the LOM program to begin your studies in January. The first to have a summer break in which to extend your learning through internships, research, and additional courses, and the first to have your graduation in December. You have done all of this in a time of unprecedented challenges in our world. In the middle of a pandemic, you made the decision to come to Duke to continue your legal education. That took courage, but that was just the first step. The start of your program was delayed, traveling here was arduous and frustrating, and many of your first semester classes had to be taught virtually. Completing this rigorous course of study amid so much upheaval and uncertainty has taken toughness and resolve. Fortunately, you were not alone. Perhaps more than any previous LLM class, you forged bonds of friendship and mutual support through this unique experience that helped you get to this day. Your small but mighty class will forever have that bond, no matter where you go or what you do. I often say that the reason that law is such an important profession is that lawyers have superpowers. Lawyers can persuade, they can solve problems, they can understand multiple perspectives, and they can create change. The job of law students, even law students who already have law degrees and have already entered the profession, is to further develop those superpowers and learn to use them carefully, ethically, and wisely. Class of 2021, you have spent the last 11 months honing your superpowers. Now it's time to go back out and use them. In fact, there may never be a more important time. The last 2 years have shown in stark relief how many difficult challenges the world faces right now and how badly we need leaders to help solve them. You have experienced many of these challenges firsthand yourselves. But what you have been during your time at Duke has made you more thoughtful, more mature, and more empathetic. What you have been through will make you better lawyers. The world needs lawyers. Lawyers are critical to protecting the rule of law and the legal institutions required for freedom and democracy to flourish. Those institutions continue to be put to the test, and we have a long way to go to make the rule of law and our legal institutions fair and equitable for all people. We need lawyers who can simultaneously preserve and protect the institutions that make us strong while creating the changes needed to make our societies more just. As Duke Law alumni, you will be among the many graduates of this institution who do just that, using their superpowers with compassion and care for the good of the world. By earning your LLM degrees from Duke, you have earned your place in that very special group, and we are very proud to welcome you into it. We will now hear from our student speaker, who was chosen by her classmates to address the graduates. Oluwabambise Onabanjo is a Nigerian-trained attorney who obtained her law degree from Babcock University. Before coming to Duke, she practiced as a litigator and project development attorney, and also volunteered with nonprofits that supported women farmers in international trade transactions. At Duke, Bambise worked as a policy analyst with a team of neuroscientists and data analysts on a Basque Connections research project that analyzed North Carolina's mental health and substance abuse-related policies to understand their impact on recidivism. She also worked with the Campus Climate Committee to review policy recommendations aimed at improving the campus experience for students, staff, and the Durham community. After graduation, she will practice as an international trade and development policy attorney. Bambise.
Good morning, everyone. I want to give honor to God, the curator of my journey, and the one who proves to me that through him, I can do all things. I want to honor my parents, Olutuke and Adeoti Onabanjo, for the sacrifices they made and the opportunity to learn audacity through their lives. Their courage towards life propels me to demand what I desire from life and never give up. To my family, this is the surprise. The evening I submitted my application to Duke, I laughed at myself, saying, it's the audacity for me. Not only was getting into Duke a hurdle, but I also knew fully well that I will not be able to attend the program without the Judy Horowitz Scholarship. Thank you, Duke Law. Last summer, I lost my father, and I had to decide whether to come to Duke or not. My emotions became volatile, and I had to make a flight or fight decision. Like many of us here today, I chose to fight, and it's making all the difference. Class of 2021, we have all faced one challenge or the other. The choice to start the LLM in the middle of a pandemic, and our worry about having the full Duke experience. Or even deciding where to go or what to do after the LLM. And the seemingly little worry about how not to enroll in a 2-credit course with 4 credits load of readings. Through these challenges, from our own countries to Duke, I have learned a few lessons that pertain to us all. The first lesson is to fight. Challenges spark strong emotions that can make you to cower. Identify what the true challenge is, learn from the obstacle, and let the reason you tried at all propel you to stay the course. If you fail, fall short, or receive any form of rejection, take the lessons and please try again. The reward of seeing your dreams fulfilled is more powerful than the protection that failing to try again would ever afford you. If this isn't true, many of us would not have made it to Duke today. I learned from my friend Nazgul that if I must have any regrets, it should be things I did and not things that I didn't do. I hope you do the same. Bet on yourself. The second lesson is to self-motivate. I have learned that self-motivation is imperative so that when external motivation fails, which it will, you have something to stand on. And that is why beyond winning gold medals, athletes strive to beat their own personal best records year in, year out. The third lesson is to put your mask on first, not literally. Class of 2021, today, you join a pool of the finest lawyers the world has ever produced. It comes with pressure to be stellar. However, remember the aircraft safety instruction to put your mask on first. Prioritize your mental health and ration what external pressure you allow to get to you. The fourth lesson I have learned is to appreciate and embrace difference. As humans, we tend to get a little too comfortable with what is familiar. Consequently, we are quick to discard people who do not look, think, or talk like us. Here at Duke, we had the opportunity to be a part of a class so diverse. We represent 31 countries from 6 continents. From our interactions and lifelong friendships that we made, it's easy to see how beautiful it is to embrace diversity. We must look beyond the qualities that differentiate us and focus on what makes us all the same, our humanity. The fifth and the last lesson is to bring hope. In a world where the lines between justice and injustice are increasingly blurred by human errors, bias, and inequality, choose to dedicate some of your time to making the law to bring hope for the vulnerable again, and to curb the growing trend of serving justice based on privilege. The world deserves the justice that your lawyering skills can bring, not just your employers or clients. And this is true, whether you choose to work in the public or private sector. The champions of the fundamental rights and liberty that we enjoy today did not speak so that we can be silent. Class of 2021. Whenever you are faced with these questions, can I push through? Do I have what it takes to be better? Or can the world be better because of me? Don't be quick to answer "it depends," like we are taught to approach every legal question. Rather, approach these questions with a definite yes to yourself and to the world being better because of you. Congratulations to us, class of 2021, and thank you for the honor to have been your class speaker.
Thank you so much, Bon Bichet. We are all so glad that you decided to get on that flight and join us at Duke Law School. Our distinguished speaker today is Professor Thomas Metzloff. A member of the Duke Law faculty for over 35 years, Professor Metzloff teaches civil procedure, ethics, and dispute resolution. He also teaches a specialized course for LLM students on the American legal system called Distinctive Aspects of U.S. Law. A graduate of Yale College and Harvard Law School, Professor Metzloff began his professional career with a judicial clerkship on the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans, followed by a clerkship with the Supreme Court of the United States. He then practiced with a private firm in Atlanta doing civil litigation matters before accepting a position at Duke Law School in 1985. Professor Metzloff served as the law school's Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs from 1998 to 2001, and as director of the Voices of American Law Project. We are honored to have this distinguished faculty member and mentor of so many of LLM students over the years address the class of 2021 today. Professor Metzloff.
I can actually talk to you without a mask on. You came. That's an amazing thing in the year that we just came. You came to the United States during a very difficult time. You came when we were conducting the most bizarre election in our history. You came and you witnessed the storming of our U.S. Capitol on January 6th. And you also came to Durham and to Duke Law School. That took, as the dean said, courage and conviction and commitment. A commitment, I know, of financial resources, but more importantly, a commitment to yourself and to your professional development. As you know from our lectures, I see part of my job as teaching the course to also just talk about the United States and our culture and our politics. And I thought, as I was thinking about what is this momentous occasion today that we're celebrating, the year that you spent here, I would do what I do and find some American reference points. And the first that I came up with is from Woody Allen in a movie called Annie Hall, where he said, 80% of life is showing up. And I used to think that's kind of a silly phrase. Yeah, I mean, there is something about showing up. But in light of what we've been through the last year, I think he probably has the percentage too low. It might be 90%. Maybe we're up to 95% of life is showing up, because it's hard to show up. And what we've done and what you did to come to Duke Law School, to spend this year with us, is 95%. It's an amazing effort. Second sort of thing that comes to mind as an American reference is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Now, I'm a little tentative about talking about religious, but I think there is, under the Lemon Test, I have a secular purpose. I'm not trying to inhibit or, religion or take effect. There's no excessive entanglement. You're all old enough that there is no coercive impact on you, I think. You can tell what I've been doing for this last week, which is grading your exams. But the Grinch Who Stole Christmas is a curmudgeonly old fellow who doesn't like the holidays. And he schemes, he sees this community, Whoville, where he lives nearby, and he sees them getting ready for this great celebration, and he conspires to ruin it. and he sneaks down and steals the presents and steals these sorts of things. And somewhat magically, on the morning of the holiday, it still happens, and he is puzzled. And what does the Grinch say? He says, Christmas came anyway. He hadn't stopped it from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without bags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. Well, the year you spent here, we did without a lot of the traditional packages, boxes, and bags of law school. Your year here came sometimes without faces, without lectures, without lunches. But I hope it came all the same anyway. And I think, like this Grinch story, what we saw was that the spirit of what we do at Duke wasn't tied up with some of that stuff. And it achieved, I hope, the goal here. It came anyway. Well, what is this year all about? What are we celebrating? What is the process? What is the reality of what happened in this last year? It might take some time to figure that out. But I come to sort of my third American reference, Field of Dreams. And this is where you know me from teaching. I wish I had my PowerPoint and I could show you some pictures and I'd show you a video clip. Maybe I do that because I think those are sometimes wonderful ways to see what's going on. But if you haven't seen the movie Field of Dreams, it's about baseball, and it's about a farmer in Iowa, Ray Kinsella, played by Kevin Costner. I think I like this image because as I work through it, I'm kind of the Kevin Costner role. He's a good-looking guy. That's kind of cool. And he is having some problems, but he sort of has a voice that speaks to him. If you build it, they will come. Actually, it's he will come, but in American lore now, if you build it, they will come. And he built, what is it? A baseball field in a cornfield. Now, some of you are going to say, wait a minute, I don't understand Duke Law School. It doesn't look anything like a baseball field in a field in a cornfield. Okay, I grant you that, true. But we are a law school in a forest, and maybe just as sort of different, strange, and unusual from where you came from. And the story is about different people who come to this field. It's kind of magical. Some of it's a little bit silly, although the movie has received a great deal of sort of recognition. The National Film Registry does say, has preserved it as a culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant movie, so I'm not too far afield to talk about it. And the people come for different reasons, and different things happen to them. And in the end, he is told by one of the characters to finish the field, to build it. And the quote is, Ray, character's name is Ray Kinsella, Ray, they will come. They will come to Iowa, put in Durham there. They will come to Durham for reasons they can't even fathom. People will come. And I think about you, and I know so many of you have different reasons for coming to this LLM program in Durham. Different reasons why you picked Duke as compared to other opportunities and choices that you all had. And maybe you don't even fathom why. But what we do at Duke Law, why the LLM program is so important. I've now finished, you are my 20th class that I've taught. Almost 2,000 LLMs. Thank you. The teaching part is fun. The 2,000 exams, I'm not so sure about. But what we do is I think at Duke, all of us as a faculty have created at least our legal equivalent of a Field of Dreams. It is a place where people like you come for reasons they maybe can't fathom, but something happens. You get to play. It's not a baseball game. It may not be as fun as a baseball game, but for the year here, you were part of it. And I know for me, the journey teaching you as LLMs in the distinctive aspects of American law, I remember it was Kate Bartlett about 20 years ago who came to me and said, Tom, would you like to teach this course? And I said, why me? I'm the least international person on the faculty. My idea of fun is hanging out in courtrooms and watching juries get selected and decide cases. And she said, well, that's the point. You're teaching American law. Oh, good point. I get that. Okay. And as I start to think about, all right, so what is it that I can do with this class? It led me to the Voices of American Law Project, the documentaries that are really the heart of what I try to do. And it was so much fun. It was my field of dreams to go out and talk to these people who made constitutional law, the people whose beliefs in what the rule of law could be and what it should be, what our constitutional values are. And they weren't lawyers. I think the fun part for me was talking to the actual people who felt that what had happened to them was wrong. And as I said from the very beginning of class, in the United States, if we think something's wrong, it must be unconstitutional. And to listen to those people articulate what the rule of law is and to share that with you. I think when I first started this class, it was, hey, I'm going to show off our great American system, and you're here to sort of, these people are coming here to sort of embrace it. In the last 4 or 5 years, I think that my views on that have changed a little bit. I'm sharing it with the perspective that I don't know if what we're doing is really all that good an idea anymore, but here's what we're trying to do. We do have a rule of law that's being challenged. And this week, this semester especially, it seemed like every week we were talking about things that are changing, things where law seems more like politics. And I offer it up to you now not as, here's how to do it, follow us, but more like, here's what we're working with. Learn from it. And at the end of the process, I don't know what we'll have. We'll have something. But I hope that this year that you spent here had some aspects of playing on a field of dreams. It is for us. It is so, I am so grateful that you did come, that you came in this difficult time, that you showed up, that you played. I suppose a speech like this shouldn't end without looking to the future, although my message today is really a celebration of the year, that it ends today. I know graduations are about going forth, but I think today and what you accomplished is more about what you did, the year you spent. You did come, and I am so thankful for you that you did. But I will finish with just a brief word about where you're going to go, because it's amazing to me. I know the paths that some of your predecessor LLMs have taken. It's amazing. It's a different path than so many of our JD students. There are over 3,000, close to 3,000 Duke LLMs. I realize you have other communities and allegiances that you form from your own schools in your own countries. And I hope that the Duke Law piece becomes an important part of it. It is to us. I look forward to seeing you back. I look forward to hearing about what you're doing and the great things that you'll do. So I will close with another Dr. Seuss book, The Places You'll Go. And this is just the beginning. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guys and gals who'll decide where you'll go. So Godspeed, and thank you so much for being here this last year.
Thank you, Professor Metzloff, for your words today and for your tireless dedication to the success of our LLM students. We will now present the Justin Miller LLM Award for Leadership and Community Participation. Justin Miller served as the Dean of Duke Law School from 1930 to 1934. Among his other accomplishments, He is credited with bringing national attention to the law school and instilling the qualities that continue to make Duke Law an exceptional place to study. As today's Duke Law blueprint attests, the principles Dean Miller espoused some 70 years ago remain a part of the foundation of this law school. Each year, graduating students are invited to nominate classmates for awards given in his honor to their classmates. The Justin Miller LLM Award for Leadership and Community Participation recognizes a student who has demonstrated engagement with the whole law school community, in addition to showing leadership among the LLM students, concern for the well-being of LLM students at the law school and at the university, effective efforts to promote integration of LLM and JD students, participation in law school organizations and activities, and attention to academic performance in law school courses. The recipient of the Justin Miller Award for this class is described by fellow students as caring, compassionate, and generous with his time. Nominators also described him as extremely smart, intellectually thirsty, and eager to make the most out of the program. They noted that he was tireless in his efforts to bring his class together, organizing Zoom meetings where LLMs could get to know each other long before they arrived at Duke, and continuing the virtual meetups every Sunday morning through the spring semester to ensure students who were still in their home countries because they hadn't yet been able to travel to the US weren't left out. The nominations for this student also noted that he played a vital role in bridging the gap between JDs and LLMs. He did this through his involvement in numerous student organizations and activities, as well as informal lunches, dinner parties, and lots of soccer. One nominator said that he pushes the LLM students to be social rather than being stuck at home, while another said, if he was not in our class, we would not have gotten along with each other so early. Another student said simply that he is the beating heart of the program. The recipient of the Justin Miller LLM Award for Leadership and Community Participation for this class is Miroslav Georgiev. Miro, please stand to be recognized. You want to come up on the stage and stand to be recognized? Or
I just wanted to thank my parents because they couldn't make it today. In Bulgarian. Благодаря ви, мамо и тати, че сте ме възпитали. Благодаря ви. Thank you very much.
Miro, in recognition of this award, a copy of Competition Law, Climate Change, and Environmental Sustainability will be dedicated in your name in the Goodson Law Library at Duke Law School. We now come to what you've all been waiting for, the recognition of our graduates. Each graduate has been presented with an academic hood. The hoods you have received are lined in blue and white to represent the colors of Duke University and trimmed in purple velvet to represent the field of law. When you walk across the stage, I will be handing you a certificate, and we have a wonderful photographer here, so please take a moment to pose for a photo with me. I ask Associate Dean for International Studies, Oleg Kobelev, to rise and assist in presenting our graduates. Let's begin.
Thank you, Dean Abrams. Good morning, everyone. I now present the candidates for the degree of Master of Laws. Dariga Adinbekova. Daniel Akhazadeh. Fahad Sultan Al Saud. Al-Shema El Harbi. Jassar Abdullah Al-Johani. Hisham Yusuf Altwin. Mishal Adil Al-Yahya. Rafael Alberto Amar Lop. Celine Lorenza Ancaye Gonzalez. Niloufer Arslanoglu. Grimur Bergschon. Luis Jesus Botello Moncada, husband of Paola Santana Plata, LLM 2017. Kelly Castex. Zaina Sina. Faiko Conring. Swelly Correa. Deng Ding. Sharif Mohammed El Gindi. Alejandro Fayas Shosinski. Tianyi Fan. Saeed Mohammed Kaswar Gardezi. Miroslav Petkov Georgiev. Javeria Guman. Elva Harrington. Jan Frederick Holscher. Suhang Kwang. Akiko Ishida. Soon Bing Chun. Sophie Charlotte Maximiliane Lina Kafanka. Peng Li. Thomas Francis Lee. Juan Leo. Anushri Mascara. Jean-Paul Moffinet Castelleras. Christina Milnitz. Andrea Molina Castillo. Mashura Murodilayeva. Hiroshi Nakamura. Mariusz Gabriel Olczukowski. Raul Perez Escobedo. Happy birthday, Raul. Luisa Barbosa Abranches Quinto. Congrats. Alejandro Ramirez. Congratulations. Zina Reichel. Congratulations. Maria Gracia Rocco Solano. Ivan Alejandro Rojas. Zain ul Hassan Siddiqui. Aryaman Kumar Singh. Kam Pong Su. Juan David Sosa Aroca. Yuta Tomiyama. Nazgul Tuyagbaeva. Gu Wang. And finally, the LLM class speaker, Alumabishe Afolasade Onabanjo.
Friends, esteemed colleagues, and guests from far and wide, I present to you the Duke Law LLM class of 2021. This has been such a wonderful morning. Thank you to our speakers, our faculty and staff, and everyone who joined us to celebrate the achievements of this remarkable class, wherever you are. Graduating students, and now alumni, you have our very best wishes for a fulfilling career in the law. Come back often and maintain a strong connection to your professors, your classmates, and the next generations of Duke Law students. This is just the beginning of what we hope will be a long relationship with your loving alma mater. Congratulations again, and good luck to each of you. Our speakers and faculty will now exit the stadium first, followed by our graduates. Please stay in your seat until you are directed to walk out. We invite everyone to join us at the law school following the ceremony to visit with classmates, faculty, and staff, and take photographs, and pick up some special gifts courtesy of our Office of International Studies. I understand that it has begun to rain while we've been here, and so you are welcome to join us inside of Starr Commons if it's too wet to be outside when we return to the law school. Please rise for the recessional.